Effect number 1, dopamine hijacking. You check your phone and see 3 notifications. Your brain releases dopamine. You feel a little rush. You think that's just excitement. It's not. It's addiction by design. Your phone uses variable reward schedules, the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. Sometimes you get a text. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's important. Sometimes it's spam. That unpredictability is the key. Your brain releases more dopamine anticipating a reward than actually receiving it. Every time you check your phone, you're pulling a slot machine lever. And the people who designed this? Former casino engineers and neuroscientists hired by tech companies to maximize engagement. They studied addiction research and built it into your apps. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day. That's 96 dopamine hits from anticipation alone. Over a year, that's 35,040 micro-addictions reinforcing the behavior. Your brain's reward system is being trained to crave notifications the same way a gambler craves the next spin. This isn't accidental. Nir Eyal, who literally wrote the book on building habit-forming products, admitted these systems exploit the same neural pathways as gambling addiction. You think you're just staying connected. Your brain is being chemically conditioned to need the phone. Effect number 2, attention span destruction. You're reading an article. A notification pops up. You check it. You return to the article. Another notification. You check again. You think you're multitasking. You're not. You're shredding your attention span. Here's what nobody tells you. Every time you switch tasks, your brain needs 23 minutes on average to fully refocus on the original task. You're not switching seamlessly. You're paying a cognitive switching cost every single time. And phones make you switch constantly. The average person switches between apps 25 times per hour. That's a task switch every 2.4 minutes. Your brain never fully engages with anything. You're operating in a constant state of partial attention, always distracted. Studies show heavy smartphone users have attention spans comparable to goldfish, 8 seconds. That's how long you can focus before your brain starts craving the next stimulus. And it's getting worse. In 2000, the average human attention span was 12 seconds. Now, it's 8. Phones didn't just correlate with this decline, they caused it. Every notification, every app switch, every scroll is training your brain to seek novelty instead of sustaining focus. You're becoming neurologically incapable of deep work. You can't read a book anymore without checking your phone. That's not weak willpower, that's brain damage. Effect number 3, memory formation impairment. You don't memorize phone numbers anymore. You don't remember directions. You take photos of everything instead of experiencing it. You think your phone is helping you remember. It's doing the opposite. Your hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory formation, strengthens through active encoding. When you engage with information, think about it and retrieve it. You build neural pathways. When you offload everything to your phone, you're telling your hippocampus it doesn't need to work. Use it or lose it applies to brain function. Studies show people who rely on GPS have smaller hippocampi and perform worse on spatial memory tasks. Your brain is literally shrinking from disuse, and it's not just navigation. You don't remember conversations because you're half present, checking your phone. You don't remember experiences because you're recording them instead of living them. Here's the part they don't mention. Taking photos of an event actually impairs your memory of it. The act of photographing shifts your brain from experiential encoding to observational mode. You're creating a digital archive of moments you'll never actually remember because you didn't encode them in the first place. Your phone isn't augmenting your memory, it's replacing it. And every time you choose the phone over your brain, your hippocampus atrophies a little more. Effect number 4, sleep architecture damage. You scroll through your phone before bed. You think it helps you wind down. It's destroying your sleep. Your phone emits blue light that suppresses melatonin production. Melatonin is the hormone that signals your brain it's time to sleep. Blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Your circadian rhythm gets disrupted. Melatonin production drops by 50% after 2 hours of screen exposure. But here's where it gets worse. It's not just the light. The content is mentally stimulating. Notifications spike your cortisol. Social media triggers emotional responses. Your brain stays in fight or flight mode. You can't fall asleep because your nervous system is activated. And when you do fall asleep, your sleep quality is trash. Even if you fall asleep quickly, phone use before bed reduces REM sleep, the restorative stage where memory consolidation and emotional processing happen. You're spending 8 hours unconscious but not actually recovering. You wake up tired because your brain never got the deep sleep it needs. And the cycle reinforces itself. Poor sleep makes you more impulsive. Impulsivity makes you use your phone more. More phone use destroys your sleep further. People who use phones within an hour of bedtime take 30% longer to fall asleep and get 20% less REM sleep. That's every single night. You're not just tired, you're chronically sleep-deprived because your phone is chemically preventing rest. Effect number 5. Anxiety amplification. You open Instagram. Everyone's on vacation, closing deals, living their best life. You feel inadequate. You feel anxious. You close the app feeling worse than when you opened it. This isn't accidental. This is engineered anxiety. Social media triggers upward social comparison. You're comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. Your brain doesn't know the difference between curated content and reality. It sees people doing better than you and interprets it as social threat. That triggers cortisol release, your stress hormone. Chronic cortisol exposure damages your hippocampus, increases anxiety, and can lead to depression. The more time you spend on social media, the higher your anxiety and depression rates. This isn't correlation. Studies show causation. Heavy social media users are 2.7 times more likely to develop depression than light users. Your phone is literally making you mentally ill. And FOMO, fear of missing out, keeps you checking constantly. You're terrified you'll miss something important, so you compulsively check. But every check reinforces the anxiety. You're not staying connected. You're feeding an anxiety loop that makes you feel more isolated, more inadequate, and more dependent on the same device causing the problem. You think you're socializing. You're marinating in engineered anxiety. Effect number 6, impulse control degradation. You're trying to work. Your phone buzzes. You check it immediately. You tell yourself you'll just look for a second. 20 minutes later, you're still scrolling. That's not weak willpower. That's a weakened prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex is responsible for impulse control, delayed gratification, and executive function. It's what allows you to resist temptation and stay focused on long-term goals. Constant phone use weakens it. Every time you give in to the urge to check your phone, you're training your brain that impulses should be immediately satisfied. You're eroding the neural circuitry responsible for self-control. The math is brutal. Brain scans show heavy smartphone users have reduced gray matter density in the prefrontal cortex, the same pattern seen in drug addicts. Your brain is being structurally changed to prioritize immediate gratification over long-term thinking. Weak impulse control makes you check your phone more. More phone use weakens impulse control further. You're in a downward spiral. Here's the reality. You can't stick to your goals because your prefrontal cortex has been trained to seek instant dopamine hits instead of delayed rewards. That business you wanted to start, that book you wanted to write, your phone trained your brain to choose TikTok instead. You're not lazy. Your brain has been rewired to fail at delayed gratification. Effect number 7. Social cognition atrophy. You're having dinner with friends. Half the table is on their phones. You think it's fine. Everyone's still there. Face-to-face interaction activates mirror neurons, brain cells that allow you to understand and empathize with others' emotions. When you're on your phone instead of making eye contact, those neurons don't fire. You're not practicing social cognition. You're letting it atrophy. Heavy phone users perform worse on empathy tests. They struggle to read facial expressions and emotional cues. They're less socially competent because their brains haven't practiced. And it's worse for kids. Children growing up with phones are showing delayed social development. They can't read emotions as well as previous generations because they're spending screen time instead of face time. Every hour on your phone is an hour not developing social skills. Your brain is wired to learn empathy through in-person interaction. Phones short-circuit that process. You think you're more connected because you have 500 friends online. You're more isolated because you can't connect deeply with anyone in person. The studies are clear. The more time people spend on phones, the lonelier they report feeling. You're surrounded by digital connection and starving for real human contact. You're not socializing, you're socially atrophying. Effect number 8, phantom vibration syndrome. You feel your phone vibrate in your pocket. You check it. Nothing. No notification. You felt it buzz, but it didn't. This isn't your imagination. It's your brain misfiring. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain has become so hypervigilant for phone notifications that it creates phantom sensations. Your somatosensory cortex, the part of your brain that processes touch, is firing without external stimulus. This is called phantom vibration syndrome, and 90% of smartphone users experience it. Your brain is so addicted to checking your phone that it's hallucinating reasons to check it. This is your nervous system in a state of constant anticipatory anxiety. Your brain is on high alert, scanning for notifications even when none exist. And it's getting worse. The more you use your phone, the more frequent the phantom vibrations become. Your brain has rewired itself to expect constant stimulation. When that stimulation doesn't come, your brain manufactures it. You've trained your nervous system to be in a perpetual state of notification anxiety. Even when your phone is silent, your brain is screaming for it. This isn't quirky, this is pathological. Your brain is creating false sensory input because it's addicted to a device. You're not using your phone has hijacked your sensory processing.